Hello everyone. My name is Lyndcey Oriko. I work with the National Cohesion and Integration Commission Kenya. And the commission came about, actually it was a mediation process that brought it out. That was after the post-election violence in Kenya, 2007, 2008. So yeah, we're here to ensure that our country is peaceful and we don't go back to what happened years back. Okay, so in Kenya we have a lot of, our conflicts stem from a lot of things. We have ethnic violence, we have political violence, we have issues of cattle rustling, issues of climate change, where there's limited resources and that brings about conflict. The issues of cross-border conflicts, that is very, very common. And talking about cross-border conflicts, I'll talk about our first case study. So Sondu is a marketplace, I might say, and it's between two communities. So there's a Kipsigis and there's a Luo. So they've been having conflicts that have been recurring for decades. It's kind of close to my heart and to me because my mom was born in Sondu, and as a kid I spent a lot of time with my grandmother. So I never understood why we had a curfew. Should be like 6:30, you should be home. In the villages in Kenya, it's not like they have much, but then people would fence their homes. They had like security guards. They just choose someone from the village, some young, strong guy. And we always thought it was because of maybe where the home was situated. We are near like a very, very big, we're on top of a hill, so maybe it was animals, hyenas and all that. But later on, she told me that actually, we heard someone was killed, and when we asked her what happened to the neighbor, she was like, okay, so this is what happened. There's this thing called cattle rustling. It's been happening for ages, and it personally affected us when my auntie was also, the rustlers came to our home, and she had to get dogs, though she wasn't hurt, but then we acted quickly to help her. So normally you'd find in such cases, it would be the village elders or the chiefs in the community that would sort these cases. They would come talk to the people, and there's always a snitch, or there's always someone who, within the community, who called these other people and told them, tell them there are 6 cows in this home, there's 7 cows in this home, they don't have security, etc. But then they'd be disciplined. And then that would cool down for a while, but then now it would happen again. So last year, it got really bad. And I think the fact that the reason why people didn't know much about this because social media was not a thing. So there was no amplification of such issues. But last year, it got really bad. There were videos, there were pictures being sent online by activists, just by people who are tired of all this, people who had lost their loved ones. And so as NCIC, we decided to do something about it. So NCIC, we have investigators from the DCI who are law enforcement. So they went to the field to find out what the problem is. We also had a team that went and spoke to victims because it was very bad. There were people who are actually, they don't use guns. They use things like machetes, they use bows and arrows. So there are pictures of people who actually, someone had an arrow sticking front to back. So it was really, really bad. So yeah, we went, spoke to the victims, we spoke to their families just to find out what is the issue and how can we solve this. So unfortunately, it was very difficult to bring the leaders together, the governors, the chiefs in the area. People were so scared, people didn't want to look like, didn't want to get involved. So what our office did, our commissioners decided to have webinars and to have Zoom meetings with these leaders. So as we were on the ground, they were having their Zoom meetings and they were having their, because now they couldn't even sit together with these people. They needed something that would bring people together and no one would feel like this is feel accommodative and inclusive. So the good thing about this, at the end of the day, we were able to actually bring the leaders together after all the Zoom sessions and webinars and all that, and talk to them, and they actually signed a peace accord. So The good thing, technology came in through WhatsApp, Facebook. There were groups that were also sitting and discussing on how to solve these issues. Peacebuilding organizations that we were part of. Facebook and X, there was amplification of peace messages, amplification of, just talking about the dangers of such things and how we can ensure that there's peace in that society and area. So now, if anything happens, the leaders will be held accountable. So yeah, so I'm just glad to report that for now, nothing has happened. It's been very peaceful, and yeah, everything is going fine. So yeah, so the second case. Did anyone see what happened in Kenya a few months ago concerning the Generation Z? Thank you. The world was watching, and I am a proud Kenyan because of this. But anyway, the Finance Bill 2024, it was a youth-led initiative, Gen Z, and it was amplified through the hashtag Reject Finance Bill 2024. So what happened here is youths have never been involved much in politics because our politics are not things you'd really want to take your time and think about. But this really affected them. The taxation, a lot of youths in Kenya are, let me say, kind of jobless. So they become creative. They have their businesses, small businesses. They are influencers online. But then the government decided that they wanted to tax such businesses. So that was something that really affected them, and they decided to do something about it. So I'm glad that Twitter Spaces were used as a tool for meaningful conversations. And these conversations, if we can see the picture up there, that's our president. He actually spoke to his communication team to organize a Twitter space where he can actually speak to these youths and understand their problems or just reason with them and see what they can do to solve the situation. But the finance bill, what I want to say is, for me it was very encouraging because for the first time in Kenyan history, youth social media platforms were used to organize these protests, number one. Were used to have meaningful conversations like the Twitter Spaces, and this changed it influenced policy. It really changed the landscape when it comes to our country's laws and all that. So it was very encouraging to even see youth, like for example, the alternative information sources, like activists decide to take the bill and make it digitally able or easy to understand for the youths. And now they were able to know what to do and what the issues were and how to engage. Finally, okay, so there are certain cases here. Can I just move? That I think we know how the social media was used to amplify and to ensure that all these cases were so shaping the future. So we have some recommendation. We need structured platforms and moderation. We should be able to, to the social media platforms to understand our needs and also to ensure that these issues are well communicated. Training in digital literacy. This is something we realize it's very important. A lot of people don't know. Like, I was shocked that there are people who never even read the Facebook. It's called the policy before you join it. So that's something important for people to know how to use these platforms and to also understand the consequences of harmful content. Inclusive for policy framework. This is very important because this is what determines the laws in such spaces. So, so in conclusion, whatever we experienced in other countries that we've seen experience the same has been we've looked at the lessons we've learned, and then now with that, we're able to, when it comes to mediation, complement, not just face-to-face, but also do the digital part of things, because like was mentioned in the morning, everything starts from offline, but then it gets amplified online. So let's continue to build peace and also have these conversations and not just, sit down when there are issues that can be mediated, not just online, but even offline. So we always have something better to do regarding mediation online. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lyndcey.